Crawford, we're off to a great start weather-wise with the week.
Are we ever?
By the end of the week, we may not be saying that so much, but Matt will have the latest on all of that.
We're off to a great start in spring,
yes.
too. I mean, this is the way it's supposed to feel. Let's hope it can continue. Great to be with you again.
You too.
I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. Betsy, a happy Monday to you and to everyone watching at home.
Yeah, we are going to get started tonight with the Browns and their new quarterback, Deshaun Watson. What will the next era look like? Earlier this month, a grand jury declined to charge Watson after 22 women accused him of sexual misconduct, but it's still raising concerns for many people.
Amanda Abraham spoke with the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center, who's seen a spike in support for victims since the move. But first, let's talk with the voice of the Browns, Jim Donovan. So, Jim, obviously, when you're writing a check that's this big, and let's face it, this is the biggest check that anyone has ever written for an NFL player, you have to have a comfort level. And I'm guessing that when the grand jury decided that Watson would not be charged on any of the 10 counts against him, that trade machine really kicked into high gear. And the Browns, as we talked about last week, came back to the table after initially learning that Watson was not going to waive his no trade to come to Cleveland. Tell us about what the Browns were doing behind the scenes to look into these allegations, but more specifically to look into the character of Deshaun Watson before making this deal.
Well, Jay and Betsy, it is a deal that has really changed the financial dynamics in the NFL. Now, those change month to month, but this is the newest change. The Browns have really raised the bar in the way you spend money to try and win. And that is the new way in the NFL right now. You don't sit around and wait anymore for draft choices to become great players. If you have a team that you think is ready to win, and the Browns feel that way, then you go out and finish it off. They felt they lacked a quarterback, and they feel on Friday afternoon when Deshaun Watson said, "I'm coming to Cleveland," they dramatically improved at the quarterback position. Are they better at quarterback with Deshaun Watson over Baker Mayfield? I think 100 people in a room would say, no doubt about it. No slam on Mayfield at all, but this guy is purebred athlete. He is the new prototype quarterback. He can run, he can throw, and he wins a lot. But there is a big layer, and the layer outside of the playing field is a big problem that the Browns had to be convinced that it was going to get fixed and it was going to be okay. The 22 civil allegations and cases that are pending against Deshaun Watson. The Browns, when they met with Watson down in Houston last week, it was both Haslams, Dee and Jimmy Haslam, Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. They talked long and hard about the situation legally, what's happening, what are you going to do about these cases, and they felt, walking away from it, they felt that he was sincere and honest about the situation and that the cases would get fixed somehow and that things would be better in time. But it was going to take an awful lot of time. And then what surprised the Browns was the biggest thing. They thought it was all about geography, all about being able to play in a dome, all about going to the NFC rather than playing in the AFC, and they were shocked. It came down to money. They finally found out they offered him a $230 million guaranteed deal, and the money ended up winning out. They paid more than anybody else, and so that's where they are right now. Off the field, problem. On the field, big-time winner. You weigh it yourself and see where you are. Now, a statement released yesterday when the Browns acknowledged the trade, and this from the Haslams. We spent a tremendous amount of time exploring and investigating the opportunity to trade for Deshaun Watson. We are acutely aware and empathetic to the highly personal sentiments expressed about this decision. Our team's comprehensive evaluation process was of utmost importance due to the sensitive nature of his situation and the complex factors involved. As a matter of fact, they were investigating this scenario all year last year. They knew the Watson scenario was out there. They were watching the way Mayfield was playing. They didn't like it. They were all in on Watson a long time ago and thus did their due diligence, at least that's what they say, on the case. What about Baker Mayfield? His options of getting traded to a team that he wants to go to, they are going away quickly as of this afternoon. Baker wanted to go to the Indianapolis Colts. That will not happen. The Colts traded for quarterback Matt Ryan of the Atlanta Falcons. He'll be 37 in May. They traded for him this afternoon for a third-round draft choice. What about the New Orleans Saints? A nice stop for him. No go. The Saints are going back to quarterback Jameis Winston. What about the Falcons? They just traded away Matt Ryan. What about Baker Mayfield going there? No go. It looks like they're going after Marcus Mariota to be their next quarterback. Where does that leave us right now for Baker Mayfield? Seattle's a possibility. And let me throw one more out to you. Detroit. And you say, the Lions? Yes, John Dorsey is a part of the front office in Detroit with the Lions. John Dorsey is the guy that brought Baker Mayfield here. And as of Friday afternoon, John Dorsey said, this guy is still a winner. I totally believe in him as a starting quarterback in the NFL. Jay and Betsy, here's the other thing that the Browns are worried about right now. The market is shrinking on Baker Mayfield. They wanted to have 2 or 3 teams to bid to try and get a trade done. Right now, they don't seem to be getting any telephone calls on that deal. Sitting out there right now is his $18.9 million contract, at least the payment of that last year in the contract, which is due him this season, and that would really strap them. They want to wash their hands, send him on his way to another team, and get out from underneath that $18.9 million.
Yeah, that would certainly be nice. Detroit, with the connection with Dorsey, makes perfect sense. Quickly, before I let you go, you mentioned at the top that the strategy now is to go all in on that top-name quarterback. It's worked recently. The Rams went out and got Matthew Stafford, and they have a Super Bowl ring today because of it. So that's how good it can work. Let's see what it works for here in Cleveland.
Absolutely. And remember this, too. Even a year before that, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers went all in on Tom Brady, changed the complete complexion of their team, won a Super Bowl, almost went back to another Super Bowl this year. Jay, it's the new way. Denver said, hey, listen, got to get a quarterback. They went and got Russell Wilson. You don't wait around any longer. You don't wait for draft choices. This year's draft is not plentiful with quarterbacks. You go right after them, and that's what the Browns did on Friday.
Jimmy, great stuff. We'll see you again at 6.
Okay.
Our team coverage continues with the sexual misconduct allegations leveled against Watson. No criminal charges were ever filed, and Watson maintains he's innocent and he wants to clear his name. Yet people from across the entire country are sending $22 donations to the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center to show support for women. Our Manny Abraham has more on how the Browns trade is raising awareness for important conversations off the field.
We were able to see that the community was sending a clear message that they support survivors and that they do not stand for sexual violence.
That clear message was in the form of public support and donations. Denisha Green with the Cleveland Rape Crisis Center says since the announcement of the Browns trade for Deshaun Watson, they've received nearly 1,700 donations from across the country.
Those resources are able to support our advocacy, our counseling and therapy, and our programming throughout the entire community.
She says the discussions over sexual misconduct can be triggering, both at the local and national level.
If someone is triggered by a story, we absolutely encourage them to reach out to us. We have a 24/7, 365 days of the year. We're available via our hotline. You can text us, you can chat with us, you can come in and request an appointment with one of our therapists.
Green says she's inspired by the community's response and hopes it leads to valuable conversations.
And the Rape Crisis Center also noted other ways people can help in their communities, including participating in its ambassador training program. We have more details up at WKYC.com. Betsy?
Certainly a lot of important conversations to be had. Thanks so much, Manny.
Well, Betsy, now on your feet at 5, it was a chaotic morning in North Olmsted today as police arrested a man after they say he robbed a Starbucks at gunpoint. This all started around 8 a.m. Police caught up to him shortly after. There was a shootout. Video shows the suspect pointing a gun at workers inside, demanding money from the registers. They gave him what he wanted, and he eventually walks out of the coffee shop. Police then caught up to him nearby, and that's when they say he shot at the officers. The officers returned fire, causing the suspect to run to a car nearby before leading police on a short chase that ended in a backyard where more shots were fired. The gunman eventually surrendered.
During his time where he was debating whether he was going to surrender to us, he kept apologizing to his mother, telling everybody this was an accident, a mistake. So I don't think he had a full-fledged plan on what he was trying to do here today, and whatever plan he had obviously failed quickly.
The suspect was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after being shot several times. He'll likely face charges of aggravated robbery and attempted murder of a police officer. One officer was treated for minor injuries and released. Other than that, thankfully, no one else was hurt.
We turn now to the latest in Ukraine, where leaders are refusing to give in to Russia's latest demand. Russia wants Ukraine to hand over the city of Mariupol. In exchange, trapped civilians would be able to escape safely. Meanwhile, in Kyiv, Russia intensified its air attacks, killing at least 8 people in a shopping district downtown. Also new today, Russia is threatening to completely cut relations with the United States after President Biden called Vladimir Putin a war criminal. Later this week, Biden will meet with NATO allies in Brussels and visit Poland. Still ahead for us, a local woman wants Ukrainian kids to know they are not forgotten in all of this. The special clothing and message she is sending to them.
Then he's calling it quits. After being on the air for decades, Maury Povich is about to retire. We'll tell you what we know about his final episodes coming up in What's New.
It's been a nice day today, despite the cloud cover moving in. Matt, what's the latest with the forecast?
Yeah, gorgeous right now. Those clouds are starting to thicken up, though, and that will kind of be a prelude to what's to come over the next 5 or 6 days. We've got a pretty rainy week shaping up for us, including some rumbles of thunder. But tonight, get out and soak up the last couple hours of this beauty. We've got temps in the 60s, falling back into the 50s. Increasing clouds, that's about it. We'll walk you through this next storm system coming up on the other side of the break.
Welcome back to What's New. For the past 3 weeks, plus really, we've seen dozens of communities and individuals step up to do whatever they can to help people in Ukraine as Russia continues the aggression in that country.
And tonight, 2 local women, once stitched together by a wedding and photography, are now reunited by 2 simple coats. Will Ewick shares their story.
They were sort of an heirloom that I had considered keeping for my own children one day. And I just sort of thought, like, this is the moment, like someone needs them now.
Rebecca represents kind of the good in the world, which is very refreshing to kind of be around, especially right now.
Rebecca Temerario and Diana Gale met last year when Rebecca was looking for a wedding photographer in the Cleveland area. But little did they both know They'd be working together again on a different project.
As a kid that's getting the coat, they don't know what's going on with the world. They just know that they're sad and they're rushed and that they have to flee from comfortability. And
Diana is Ukrainian and has been teaming up with local churches to help send donations to the country. And thanks to the power of social media, Rebecca saw Diana's post and suggested she take special photos of the coats, which are much more than just a piece of clothing.
I was personally bullied a lot as a child, and these coats really gave me a sense of pride. It sounds metaphorical, but it's true. Like, they kept me warm. They made me feel good. And so I just felt like if I'm going to give these coats away, I wanted them to carry that same message.
Rebecca went to stitch in handwritten letters inside the coats, but realized her sewing machine was broke. She went to a local seamstress, where she met Mariana of Alterations Today in Bay Village, told her what she was doing, and
she goes, "I'm Ukrainian." And I just lost it. I just said, "Can I give you a hug?" And we hugged for a minute. She got the work done in a day.
As far as the plan to get the coats to Ukraine,
I actually have an uncle out there right now. He was born in Ukraine, ended up going over to the east side, kind of where everything is going on, just with suitcases full of medical supplies just directly there.
Diana says she's waiting until he has a home base to figure out where he's staying. Then she'll send the coats to that address.
I want to wrap them specifically. I want to kind of translate them into Ukrainian as well in a note and see if he can just find 2 children that he can give it to.
To see the community, millions of miles away rise up. I think the bottom line is we really just want Ukrainians to feel like they're supported.
Will Ewick, 3 News.
Diana says she hopes to ship the coats within the next week when her uncle is settled in wherever he will be. And Diana and Rebecca both say if you feel called to help the war in Ukraine, do it.
Please, we have more on their story. It's online at our website, WKYC.com. We plan to keep in contact in hopes of getting video of the moment Diana's uncle delivers the coats to 2 children in Ukraine. That will be special.
And what an incredible connection with Mariana, who's the gal in Alterations Today in Bay Village, the Ukrainian seamstress there. What a point of pride for her to be able to participate in that, too. And it was all just kind of happens.
And just think, Bets, this is one effort.
Right.
There are countless efforts nationwide, really worldwide, people coming together trying to ease the pain and suffering of the people of Ukraine. So
many stories.
We need to see more of that.
Let's change directions now. Head over to the Weather Center, get the latest on this forecast from Matt.
Your weather word today is generosity. I think we know why, but I bet you fit it in just fine, too.
Pretty sure it's not going to happen today, Jay, but we'll try our best.
You say that every day, but you always find a way.
The brain's not working today. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure it out.
It's Monday.
That could be it. We're coming off of a beautiful day, though. I hope you soaked it up. If we had to pick a day of the week that would be the best day of the week, it would be today. So if you haven't gotten outside yet, or you don't have plans outside this evening, please do so, because this week turns pretty rainy and a little sour towards the weekend. But for tonight, no problems. We're back into the 50s. Winds will remain light. We've had that lake breeze towards the lakeshore that's kept us a little bit cooler. Otherwise, we're in the mid-60s down towards the south. Akron sitting at 65, 67 down in Dover right now. A little bit cooler near the lakeshore, as I mentioned, especially up towards the Kingsville, Conneaut area. We have temperatures in the 40s right now, but that's few and far between. You look at the warmth down towards the plains, 70s in Nashville, all the way down towards the deep south. There is a big storm system that's getting going, and this is going to take residence in the Ohio Valley and the Great Lakes all week long. It's going to take forever for this thing to spiral its way through. So where are we right now? Lots of rain and lots of energy coming into the storm system. You look at the water vapor. This is impressive. We've got a flow of air coming due south through Arizona. That carves out a big old trough, and that's spinning this thing up like a top. Severe weather is going to be the big national story tonight and tomorrow, expected to be widespread across the deep south. We've got winter storm and even blizzard warnings on the northern end of this. In terms of the severe weather, it's Texas that's going to get hit tonight. Numerous tornadoes expected out of this one. That translates over towards Louisiana and Mississippi tomorrow. All of it south of us, though. So where do we kind of fall with this storm system? Well, here comes the area low pressure. This is a bigger picture look. We just get waves of rain off of this. This starts tomorrow. We'll see a little wave go through. Better chance for rain and some storms as this moves through on Wednesday. And then it'll spin up as we go throughout the weekend as well, with another system getting attached to it, which will keep some scattered rain and even some snowflakes in the forecast this weekend. In terms of rainfall, the heaviest expected to be down towards southern Indiana. Mother Nature, with her generosity, activity, certainly producing lots of rainfall for the much needed gardens around here. But you notice for us, we are dealing with some rain, but not anticipating any flooding problems off of this. National Design Mart Hour by our forecast, clouds thicken up tonight. Tomorrow, another mild day, should make it well into the 50s. You notice how we have scattered showers throughout the day. It doesn't look to be a washout by any means, but we'll have a better rain chance, especially the further in the day we get. And then Wednesday, we bring in the bulk of that storm. You notice how we have perhaps a wave of rain in the morning and then scattered showers. And yeah, even some thunderstorms possible in the afternoon with some sun peaks. It's going to feel very spring-like on Wednesday as well as that system moves in. Union Hill Mortgage 7-day forecast. There's your bump in temps with the storms on Wednesday. Just some scattered showers we go into the weekend, but you notice the trend. We're getting much cooler, even highs in the 30s with perhaps some snow showers around for the weekend. Betsy.
All right, thanks so much, Matt. Still ahead for us, MGK is coming back to the CLE. We have all the details surrounding his pretty epic announcement ahead in Pop Break.
Then there's nothing quite like the bond between a dog and their little human. We have this hilarious video next in our Worth the Watch. Poor little fella.
Am I on? There we go. Okay, cool. Do, 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 do. Shit.
Welcome back to What's New. You know that music. It's time for our Monday Pop Break and the bizarre story, Bets, of a puzzling Oscar snub on the invite list. I just can't get my mind around this.
Well, let's get Kira Cotton in here to drop the news on that one and other entertainment headlines. Hey there, Key.
Hi, Jay and Betsy. We are in the thick of awards season, but like Jay said, not everyone can make it on the guest list. West Side Story star Rachel Zegler says she wasn't invited to the Academy Awards. The 20-year-old actress who starred as Maria in the remake of the classic film shared the news in a series of comments on Instagram. A fan commented on the photo and saying that they were excited to see what she would be wearing on Oscar night, and she responded, "I'm not invited, so sweatpants and my boyfriend's flannel." Now, she doesn't know why she wasn't invited, but she hasn't given up hope. She says she's still hoping that some last-minute miracle occurs, but if not, she's still proud of the movie. West Side Story was nominated for 7 Oscars, and the Academy Awards is set to take place this Sunday.
You are not the father. You are the father. You are not.
And after 31 seasons, The Maury Show is calling it quits. Hosted by Maury Povich, the long-running show chronicles relationship drama and became widely known for its paternity test episodes, where guests find out if they are or are not the father. The show is ending as Povich, who is, get this, 83 years old, is retiring. The last original episodes of Maury will air this September. And Cleveland's own wild boy Machine Gun Kelly is bringing his latest tour to First Energy Stadium. The 31-year-old announced the tour at his coffee shop, the 27 Club in the Flats, this morning with a special ticket pre-sale. The tour, named after his upcoming 6th studio album, Mainstream Sellout, will feature special guests Avril Lavigne, Travis Barker, Willow, and Kane's Trippie Redd. MGK and his star-studded lineup will take over First Energy Stadium on August 13th. Now, according to Barry Gable with Live Nation, this will be the first time MGK has performed at a stadium. And to make it special for his hometown, he has personally curated the entire concert for that night. So, Jay and Betsy, this is definitely something that fans won't want to miss.
Yeah, big event, big event. Back to the Oscars story. Rachel won the Golden Globe as Best Actress in a musical. And I know she wasn't nominated for an Oscar, but that... When the film that she's in gets 7 nominations, right. It's so bizarre. And I hope they fix this. And that young woman is at the Oscars come Sunday night. Fingers crossed.
They've got a week. We'll see if they can make it happen.
And props to her if she just wears her sweatpants and boyfriend's flannel.
I still think she should wear the sweatpants and the flannel.
Epic move, girl. All right, thanks so much, Kara. Today's Worth the Watch is about a bond between human and dog. This little kid is having a no good, very bad day. So his dog decides to join in on the crying. The dog's doing his thing. The baby's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm the one with the problem here. Now don't steal my bad day.
You just stole my thunder.
But you know what worked? Because the young man stopped crying and put a smile on his face eventually.
Temper tantrums are just
great.
So fun. My heart goes out to all you mamas and dads out there, grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and caretakers and whoever who are dealing with the temper tantrums.
We've all had to deal with it at one time or another.
We get it. We understand. All right, coming up on the next half hour of What's New, are you adjusted to the time change yet?
No.
I'm kind of like on the fence on this one. We have the latest developments on the bill that would make daylight saving time permanent, and we have a trick from the military that can help you fall asleep.
I'm fascinated by that story. 2 minutes, they say. Then another service is adding a fuel charge. No surprise there. One movie did extremely well at the box office this weekend as Hollywood's bounce back continues. We have all the details in our Money Monday report.
And Drew Carey is taking his show on the road. Now the big question is, will Cleveland be a stop? Well, we'll find out coming up in Clicking in Cleveland. We'll be right back.
And now, live from WKYC Studios, this is What's New.
All right, let's get you caught up on 3 things you need to know about here at 5:30. Ukrainian leaders are refusing to give in to Russia's latest demand. Here's what Russia wants. They want Ukraine to hand over the city of Mariupol. In exchange, trapped civilians would be able to escape safely. Meanwhile, in Kyiv, Russia intensified its air attacks today, killing at least 8 people in a shopping district downtown. Also new today, Russia is threatening to completely cut relations with the U.S. after President Biden called Vladimir Putin a war criminal last week. Later this week, Biden is expected to meet with NATO allies in Brussels and visit Poland.
Well, have you heard about this yet? A man in North Olmsted is accused of robbing a Starbucks at gunpoint this morning. Keep in mind, this all started around 8 o'clock in the morning on Lorraine Road. You can imagine quite a few customers around. When officers arrived, the suspect took off running and started shooting at them near Dover Road. The suspect then got in a car, drove away before finally stopping behind a house. Once he did stop, he started shooting at officers again. Police returned fire, eventually arrested the man. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. A police officer was treated and released. Thankfully, nobody inside the Starbucks was injured.
And lawmakers in charge of drawing Ohio's legislative boundaries are back at the drawing board once again today. This is the 4th time they've started this process. All of this coming after the Ohio Supreme Court rejected the latest maps as unconstitutional because they favored the Republican Party. The May 3rd primary is still on for now. However, election officials worry that printing ballots in time for early voting may not be possible. Only the legislature can move the date of the primary, but the delays could force lawmakers to move the primary back or hold 2, one for statewide elections on May 3rd and one this summer for state House and Senate races after the boundaries are approved. That is considering they may not be approved again. I mean, this process really has been a head scratcher, and hopefully they get it right, and they get it right soon.
Yeah.
With that, we welcome you back to What's New. Welcome to the second half hour of the program with Betsy Kling. I'm Jay Crawford. Felt like spring.
It's first day of spring.
It felt, and
no
you
more
know
countdown.
What? No irony there.
So here we go.
It was great.
We can celebrate the first full day of spring. Our little squirrely friend joins us in our happy picture in celebration. Thank you so much to all the viewers who sent us pictures for our spring countdown over the last month. We certainly loved seeing them and showing them off a little bit.
I did. Even on the cold days, it gave you hope that it's coming.
It's coming.
Look at those beautiful flowers, and we got so many pictures and even videos from some viewers, and we thank you for all of that. That's the Metro Parks over in Rocky River.
Yeah.
Beautiful. They're coming.
They always plant early down there.
I'm all for that.
This is round 1 of flowers. There'll be some more, some little pansies out there. I'm starting to see some bulbs coming up, though, certainly.
I know. We have a lot of those at the house, and it scares me because I know that we're not done. We're not out of the woods yet, and I hope everything can survive whatever cold we have coming.
They like that a lot.
Yeah,
and actually, today's top talker is about more sunshine, please. We're talking daylight saving time. Now, we are a full week into the time change, and we recently asked you on the What's New Facebook page how you're feeling. Most of you said you're feeling completely adjusted, and there's a few who are still struggling to fall asleep and wake up on time. Well, that's normal, right?
Yeah, I mean, it never gets easier to wake up.
Waking up. Yeah.
So ending or staying right where we are on daylight savings time has been a hot button issue for a very long time. Just last week, and this is just mind-boggling to me because we can't get 100 senators to agree that red is red, but the Senate unanimously passed the Sunshine Protection Act, and that would make daylight saving time permanent. So we would stay right where we are. No more falling ahead and fall back and spring ahead. That would be done. As for when the House will take it up, which obviously is the next step in the legislative process, well, that's still to be determined. House Majority Leader Steny Hoyer's office told NPR that there's no immediate plan to vote on this, which is somewhat perplexing considering that the Senate unanimously agreed on it. However, the House Committee on Energy and Commerce had a hearing last week, and there is bipartisan support for this idea.
Of course. So, here we are, the constituents. We are waiting to see what happens. Let's get the desk out of the way.
My desk.
Favorite things to do. And we're going to talk about this because the daylight saving time kicks in, and that basically shifts our work days and all that stuff an hour later. So if we did not fall back, what time would things start to happen? So we kind of focused in on the sunrise side of things. So on November 15th, the new sunrise time would be 8:15. On December 15th, the new sunrise time would be 8:46. Currently, this is at 7:15 and 8:46, right?
Yeah.
And January 15th to be at 8:50. Now, if we're talking sunsets, in the month of December, the sun sets the entire month just before 5 p.m.
Right.
So if we now go on to daylight saving time in the winter, our sunsets would be just before 6 p.m.
That would be our earliest
That would be the earliest sunset.
So that's what I love about this.
Yeah.
I love that, you're not driving home from work in the dark. You bring up a point in the commercial break that, one of the benefits to this is that when you get the kiddos out to the bus stop, it's not pitch dark.
No, it would be actually in the middle of winter.
Now. It will be now.
If daylight saving time stays forever, our sunrise times will be an hour later. This is winter. And so 8:15, bus comes at 7:15. You got an hour till sunrise even happens. So on the best of days, maybe you're in twilight, but that's pitch dark.
My thing is, there's many days where they're going out and it's pitch dark now.
Yeah. My daughter would immediately make the argument, fine, let's make the school day later.
I like that argument. Wait, who would
we can sleep in.
Is that Josie that would do that?
Josie all the way.
Oh, yeah. Okay, now I like that idea.
Well,
I like that idea a lot.
63% of U.S. adults want to eliminate the time change. There's another big group that says, why don't we just stay on standard time all the time?
Yeah, I don't like that idea at all.
That would bring back the sunset times all year round.
Yeah, I wouldn't love that at all. In fact, because then you're talking about summer sunset. I love the summer evenings.
Right? Playing tag at 10 p.m.
9:45 and it's still light out.
That's the best.
I love that. Now, this isn't really surprising, but it turns out that the best secret, Betsy, to falling asleep actually comes from the military. They always put a lot of money into studying things of importance like this. A sleep expert on the Today Show verified that this video going viral on TikTok is legit. It claims that you will fall asleep in 2 minutes. So here's how it works. Navy pilots that were part of this experiment, by the way, years ago, in 6 weeks, 96% of them were able to fall asleep in 2 minutes.
Wow. Well,
so it's basically a training exercise.
Yeah. So essentially what you need to do is relax your body head to toe. Start by relaxing the muscles in your forehead and work your way down to your toes. Focus on your breathing. Clear your mind from stress.
That's the tricky part.
All this is so much easier said than done.
Yes.
Think of scenarios that keep you calm. Do that. Yeah, I get that. Now, if you get distracted, you can repeat and then don't think for 10 seconds. Then I get in the thing, I'm like, don't think. Wait, why am I thinking about thinking? I have to think about not thinking, and now I'm stressed because I can't.
Yeah, that's so oxymoronic.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Don't think about thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. If the tricks don't work, by the way, and I'm skeptical, there's an app for that too. Cleveland Clinic developed a sleep app with a funding from a Michigan woman who lost her husband to sleep apnea. The app is an assessment tool that rates your risk of the 4 most common sleep disorders. The app is free, but right now it's only available on the Apple platform.
Wow, interesting. So now you know what to do tonight.
And if it works for anyone, hit us up on our Facebook page. I want to hear your story.
Coming up next for us, it is Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday, right? Not Mentor Money. Anyway, we need volunteers, so there's no money involved. We have all the details on how you can inspire young minds as they head off to college.
Then, what you need to know about changes coming to Instacart if you plan on placing a grocery delivery item anytime soon.
See, that's the Money Monday.
Yeah, that's the Money Monday part. Meantime, Matt's back. He's got our weather in a jiffy. Hey, Matt.
Oh, hey, guys. Just trying to relax, fall asleep, and then
don't
one of the
do
kids
that right
says,
now.
Daddy? Don't factor the kids.
Don't think.
We don't have to think about this gift today because I think we got either video from your ski trip, Betsy, of you going down the hill.
Yep, that's it.
Or this is our temperatures this week because they're going downhill as well. And this is how we're going to feel towards the weekend. So hope you enjoyed today. We've got your forecast for you after the break.
Agony of defeat all the way.
Mic check. What's clicking in Cleveland? It's coming up. I'm not in the next block though, right?
Downhill, he says, with a little smirk on his face.
I didn't see any pictures of your ski trip yet, Bets. How many pictures were you upright?
They're all white because it's all pointing down into the snow.
The camera's taking
Face plant.
pictures. Oh, well, yes. That's the way our temperatures are going this week for sure. The ski trip's still unverified. But you know what? I hope you enjoyed today because it was certainly beautiful outside. Temperatures officially, this is what's new, hot off the press, 68 degrees, what we reached in New Philadelphia today. Akron, Canton up to 66. Look at the shadow of the lake, though. We had a northeast wind up towards the lakeshore, kept Cleveland at 62. Ashtabula only 57 for a high today. Lake water temperature up to a balmy 38, though. So we're getting there, almost swim weather. Got to get up to around 67. For me to even put a foot in, but we get a little warmer than there. We'll get there eventually. Average highs, just want to keep everyone in check. All right, this is what they do. The last couple of weeks, we're near 50 degrees today. That's our average. Next week, we're talking 52. We get up into the 60s for averages. That would be our midpoint, right, by later next month. So anytime that we're in the 60s, that's bonus territory this time of year. So we are in bonus territory now. 60s generally away from the lakeshore, 50s as you get closer to the lake. All of us going to fall back. Not too bad tonight. Into the 40s. We'll have a mix of some moon and clouds around. Not looking too bad, but everything going to start to change as we bring in a pretty big storm system across the center half of the country. It's going to take its time getting through the Great Lakes. Lots of rain on the northern end of this right now. We've got blizzard warnings and heavy snow on the back edge of this. What everyone's going to be watching tonight, though, is the severe weather that's already going west of Dallas now. That will translate east into the Austin, eventually the Waco area. Widespread severe weather and flooding on the front end of this for the deep south, and then you've got blizzard warnings on the back end. Widespread tornado outbreak expected tonight as well. Ditto that tomorrow as you get towards Mississippi and Louisiana. For us, severe weather is going to stay down to the south, but we'll get waves of rainfall off of the old storms that develop. You can see how this plays out over the next couple days. The big storms down to the south, but we get quite a bit of rain in here in waves starting tomorrow and then especially on into Wednesday. Could add up anywhere from about a half inch to maybe an inch and a half, depending on if we get any thunderstorms on Wednesday. But you can see the heavy flooding rains are staying south. That's where we like them to stay this time of year, especially springtime. National Design Mart Hour by our forecast. You see the clouds increase. There's your model change, bringing in a little bit more rain tomorrow. We're going to go with showers moving in, so do plan for rain tomorrow. Not a washout, but we will see some waves of showers. Wednesdays, when we get a little bit more daytime heating, may have some sun peaks in here as well, and that could trigger a couple rumbles of thunder. You notice the latest model run bringing a pretty decent line in there around this time Wednesday. But in terms of the big picture, this system going to wind up like a top over the Great Lakes. You notice how we can't quite get rid of the showers Friday. Another shot of cold air comes in here on into Friday into Saturday, and that will kick off perhaps some snowflakes that will add to the forecast. Union Home Mortgage 7-day, you notice the downward trend in temperatures back to 30s and 40s. That is not bonus territory later this week, but we'll snap out of it. Pretty quick bounce back hopefully next week. Betsy.
No worries. All right. Thanks so much, Matt. Well, it is Mentor Monday all month at WKYC Studios, and we are recruiting mentors for local college-bound students in partnership with College Now Greater Cleveland.
Yeah, what a difference they can make. The impact a mentor can have on a mentee can be immeasurable, especially when the mentor is already working and successful in the field that the mentee wants to pursue. Jasmine Monroe shares a special story about one mentor now turned into a colleague.
When we first met Shawana Anekwe and Amira Bossi in 2019, they both were starting their mentor journey. Anekwe was a CMSD model leader teacher and Abasi, a freshman early education student at Cleveland State University.
I can help her not have to experience some of the bumps in the roads that I had.
I really didn't know a lot of stuff over there, like what to do at the beginning of freshman year. So she helped me with financial aid.
As a first-generation college student, Abasi needed advice about her classes. Back then, Anekwe encouraged Abasi to find her voice. 3 years later, she has.
She helped me a ton. Like, she knows at the beginning, like, I wasn't really, like, comfortable, like, saying, like, speaking out for myself.
You know, if Amir has any questions or concerns, she knows I'm right there for her. It's just a very open relationship. So I love the fact that she trusts me.
Abasi will graduate next year, hoping to teach preschool or kindergarten in Cleveland. That would make the two of them co-workers.
We have built something that I believe is going to last outside of her college experience because she's going to become my colleague.
Anekwe now gives advice about teaching credentials to ensure Abasi's teaching career starts off right.
It's perfect. I actually like that, like, she gets to explain to me, like, step by step what she went through.
I am very proud of Amira. She is going to change the lives of a lot of children. She's going to bring a light to a lot of children when she gets into the classroom.
I'm Jasmine Monroe for 3 News.
So far, we have 109 mentors that are signed up, but we still need 166 more to reach our goal of 275. If you saw that story and you feel you have something to give to a young person that can use some help finding their way, please go and sign up now. Visit collegenowgc.org. The deadline is April 1st.
Coming up, it's finally warming up. We have 10 must-do activities to check out this spring around Northeast Ohio.
One more time, what's cooking in Cleveland today has to do with the Cleveland Zoo.
It's time for Money Monday. First, Uber and Uber Eats. Now Instacart is adding a charge for the gas that they need to deliver our orders.
Totally makes sense. The grocery delivery platform announced there will be a temporary fuel surcharge to help offset the higher than normal gas prices that drivers are paying. The charge will be 40 cents per order. According to a blog post on the company's website, the charge will be implemented within the next month and is expected to last for about a month.
All right, not awful, 40 cents. Movie theaters seem to be bouncing back just fine from the pandemic as we saw another big weekend at the box office. The Batman came in at #1 for a third weekend in a row and now has raked in $600 million globally. That brings North American take on the movie to just over $300 million. The film had the second biggest pandemic era opening just after the new Spider-Man film, which was released last year. People I've talked to that have seen that love it.
Really?
Many say it's the best Batman movie in the entire series. That's high praise.
So many of those are so dark.
Yeah, they took a turn to the dark, especially recently with a few of them that were before this one. But, man, I've just heard nothing but great things about this. I haven't seen it yet, but people say it's great. So
I'm here for the popcorn.
I like the popcorn, too.
Good
I'm all about the popcorn. I'm just glad to see that movie theaters have bounced back.
Yes.
Because there was serious talk, if you remember, early in the pandemic.
They were really
once they started releasing films on stream, people were like, this is great. I can sit in my theater room at home or enjoy my own,
Not the same.
Pause the movie. Not the same. You need that full rumble. But there was some fear that the movie theaters were about to go the way of the shopping mall.
And now we're almost to drive-in theater season 2.
That's close, right around the corner.
By the way, right now it's time to see what is clicking in Cleveland. And for that, we turn into our digital anchor, Stephanie Haney, with all the latest on that. Hi, Steph.
Hi there, Betsy. We've had some very exciting news for Clevelanders today because Cleveland's own Drew Carey could be coming to town. He is the host of The Price is Right, as you know, and the show is launching a new 50-city tour, and that tour kicks off Friday at the Santa Monica Pier in California, which is not far from where the show usually films. Now, this tour is separate from the TV show, but we do know that Drew Carey will be at the launch this week, and it's hard to imagine that he wouldn't find a way to be at the Cleveland stop, which is coming up on May 6th, so we will keep you posted on those details when they become available. And in the meantime, 3 News contributor Laura DeMarco's Spring Fun Guide is required reading for this time of year. It has 10 must-do activities, including the Cleveland International Film Festival at its new home in Playhouse Square this year. The in-person showings run March 30th through April 9th and then streaming after that. And the beautiful Daffodil Hill at Lakeview Cemetery will be in bloom soon. It's looking like we'll see those flowers pop up mid-April. And if you haven't been, they have souvenirs and things there on certain daffodil days. And then there is Dingus Day. This is the post-Easter Polish festival street party that you do not want to miss. It lands on April 18th this year. Now, the main hub is the Gordon Green Event Center on Detroit Avenue, Jay and Betsy, but there will also be some things in Tremont, Ohio City, and other spots around town. And here's hoping we get some of that great spring weather for that day.
Yes, please. Fingers crossed. Bets, do what you can. Put in a word.
It's on Matt's plate.
It's up to Matt?
Yeah,
okay.
Matt's on
Paging Matt wins. Matt wins.
Matt always comes through. I don't know how he does it. All right, thanks, Steph. Coming up, it was a great weekend for one local basketball team. We're going to tell you about Richmond Heights' big win. It's our Show Us Something Good.
Then on 3 News at 6, we sit down with a familiar face from the pandemic. Dr. Amy Edwards of University Hospitals explains some of her toughest moments during the outbreak and her hope for the future.
You told I did. Hey, Al, how are you? Testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Hi. Good evening, and thanks for being with us.
And he said, you know what I'm not going to use? Hey, mic check, 1, 2, 3, mic check, 1, 2, 3. He said, and I'm not going to use a picture of.
Hello, Manny Abraham here in studio. Testing, 1, 2, 3, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Hey, Al, you got me here. As of today, the May 3rd primary is still on. Thank you.
That's what a hero's welcome sounds like right there, Bets. Today's show is Something Good comes from Richmond Heights. The Spartans boys basketball team are state champs. First time in school history, too. They beat Tri-Village 50-29. This wasn't even close.
No.
And they were welcomed home by their hometown late this afternoon. And we say a big congratulations from What's New and 3 News to the Richmond Heights boys basketball team, the best in the state of Ohio this year.
A lot of hard work. So cool.
It paid off.
Yep.
They got the trophy. We're out of time, but we are back tomorrow at 5, and we certainly hope you join us then.
Yeah, 3 News at 6 with Russ and Laura starts right now.
Now at 6, Watson reaction. The Browns make their case for that record-breaking deal to bring Deshaun Watson to Cleveland. Jim Donovan explains the team's stance, the controversy behind it, and from a football move, how acquiring the quarterback could be a game changer for the team. Shootout at Starbucks.
Whatever plan he had obviously failed quickly.
A morning run for coffee turns into a scary crime scene at a local Starbucks after a gunman robs the business and is then shot by police. Primary in peril. With no redistricting maps in place, we'll tell you about a new timeline out tonight that could affect the date of the May primary in Ohio. And doctor's orders.
I just remember thinking, I don't know if I can do this.
Dr. Amy Edwards, in her own words, on being on the front lines of the pandemic and her message about the future of COVID.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is 3 News at 6 with Russ Mitchell and Laura Queso.
And good evening. Thanks for being with us.
Tonight, more reaction to the Browns' landmark deal for Deshaun Watson.
What will a new era look like, and how does the pick reflect on the team, the fans, and the city? The voice of the Browns, Jimmy Donovan, is here to break it all down. Hey, Jim.
Hello, Russ and Laura. Boy, you get a quarterback with the talents of Deshaun Watson. That should be met with 1,000